I'm Jim Lammer, superintendent at Garber School, and it's my opportunity and privilege today to get a chance to read you one of my favorite books. This is one of my favorite Dr. Seuss books, a book that I picked out that I used to read to my children when they were young at night. You know, Dr. Seuss has a lot of neat books, a lot of fun books. And I could have picked out Green Eggs and Ham or Cat in the Hat. But for some reason, this book appealed to me, and I always liked it. It's always been my favorite Dr. Seuss book, and I want to share it with you today. The name of this book is And to Think That I Saw It on Mulberry Street. And it goes something like this. There's a young man who has a vivid imagination and at times seems to exaggerate things a little bit. And he's learning that maybe that's not always the best thing to do. And this book's about that young man, and I want to get a chance to read it to you now. And to think that I saw it on Mulberry Street. When I leave home to walk to school, Dad always says to me, "Marco, keep your eyelids up and see what you can see." But when I tell him where I've been and what I think I've seen, he looks at me and sternly says, "Your eyesight's much too keen. Stop telling such outlandish tales. Stop turning minnows into whales. Now what can I say when I get home today?" All the way to school and all the way back, I've looked and I've looked and I've kept careful track. But all that I've noticed, except for my own feet, was a horse and a wagon on Mulberry Street. That's nothing to tell of. That won't do, of course. Just a broken down wagon that's drawn by a horse. That can't be my story. That's only a start. I'll say that a zebra was pulling that cart, and that is a story that no one can beat. When I say that I saw it on Mulberry Street. Yes, the zebra is fine, but I think it's a shame such a marvelous beast with a cart that's so tame. The story should really be better to hear if the driver I saw was a charioteer. A gold and blue chariot, something to meet, rumbling like thunder down Mulberry Street. No, it won't do at all. A zebra's too small. A reindeer is better. He's fast and he's fleet, and he looked mighty smart on old Mulberry Street. Hold on a minute. There's something wrong. A reindeer hates the way it feels to pull a thing that runs on wheels. He'd be much happier instead if he could pull a fancy sled. A reindeer and sleigh? Say, anyone could think of that. Jack or Fred or Joe or Nat, say even Jane could think of that. But it isn't too late to make one little change. A sleigh and an elephant, now that's something strange. I'll pick one with plenty of power and size, a blue one with plenty of fun in his eyes. And then just to give him a little more tone, a Rajah with rubies perched high on a throne. Say, that makes a story that no one can beat when I say that I saw it on Mulberry Street. But now, I don't know, it still just doesn't seem right. An elephant pulling a thing that's so light would whip it around in the air like a kite. But he'd look simply grand with a great big brass band. A band that's so good should have someone to hear it, but it's going so fast that it's hard to keep near it. I'll put on a trailer. I know that won't mind. If a man sits and listens, why hitched on behind. But now, is it fair? Is it fair what I've done? I'll bet those wagons weigh more than a ton. That's really too heavy of a load for one beast. I give him some helpers. He needs two at least. But now, this worries me. Mulberry Street runs into bliss, and unless there's something I can fix up, there'll be an awful traffic mix-up. It takes police to do the trick, to guide them through the traffic thick. It takes police to do the trick. They'll never crash now. They'll race at top speed with Sergeant Maloney himself in the lead. The mayor is there and he thinks it is grand, and he raises his hat as they dash by the stand. The mayor is there and the aldermen too, all waving big banners of red, white, and blue. And that is a story that no one can beat when I say that I saw it on Mulberry Street. With a roar of its motor, an airplane appears and dumps out confetti when everyone cheers. But that makes a story that's really not bad, but I still could be better. Suppose that I add a Chinese boy who eats with sticks, a big magician doing tricks, a 10-foot beard that needs a comb. No time for more, I'm almost home. I swung around the corner and dashed to the gate, ran up the steps, and I felt simply great. For I had a story that no one could beat, and to think that I saw it on Mulberry Street. But Dad said quite calmly, just draw up your stool and tell me the sights on the way home from school. There's so much to tell, I just couldn't begin. Dad looked at me sharply and pulled at his chin. He frowned at me sternly from there in his seat. Was there nothing to look at, no people to greet? Did nothing excite you or make your heart beat? Nothing, I said, growing red as a beet, but a plain horse and wagon on Mulberry Street.